I'm the Cowboy Pastor. Before we even start, I want to thank all the veterans and all the militaries for protecting our country and serving. I wanted to get that out of the way and let you know that we appreciate it. Thank you. Now, you know, I don't know how many of you are married or have girlfriends and live with you. It don't make a difference. It really doesn't. But if you're rich and you got a lot of money and you go to your wife or your girlfriend and you tell her, I want you to bury $1 million with me, good luck. And let me explain why. A friend of mine went ahead and told his wife he wanted her to bury $1 million with him when he died. And she didn't want to do it, but he made her promise. And she promised, and 7 months later he passed away. And at the funeral, just before they closed the coffin, she walked over there and put a little box in there. I seen her, and I walked up to her and I said, hey, you didn't put $1 million in there, did you? She goes, yes, I did. I said, why? She goes, so I promised him. I said, man, that's crazy. She goes, ah, don't worry about it. I don't see him cashing a check anytime soon. Now, we were sitting in church the other day, and then all of a sudden lightning hit the church. And then when the dust all settled and the fire went out, everybody looked in front of the church and they seen Satan standing up there laughing. Everybody got panicked, got up and started running out of the church. Satan was laughing, laughing. Satan looked down at the front row and seen my wife sitting there. Satan looked at her and stopped laughing and says, hey, lady, you know who I am? She says, yep. You're not scared? Nope. Why? Because the last 40 years I've been married to your brother. Now, let me explain this to you. These three guys, they're all truck drivers. And they all died before their time. And they went to heaven. And at the pearly gates, St. Peter told them all, the more faithful you've been to your wives and driving the truck, it's a better car you get to drive around in heaven. Then he said, okay, send me the Portuguese guy. He says, you ever cheated on the scales? Cheated on your wife? Nope, never did. Okay, give him a Mercedes. Send me the Mexican guy. St. Peter says, hey, you ever cheat on your wife? You ever cheat on the scales? He goes, I thought about it. Give him a Volkswagen. He said, that's cool. So, now send me the black guy. The black guy walked up there and he says, you ever cheat on the trucks, like going around the scales and cheated on your wife? If you cheated on her, be honest with me. He goes, every time I got a chance. He goes, you cheated on your wife every time you got a chance? He goes, you better believe it. He goes, give him a moped. He goes, that's cool. So he got on his moped, he started riding down the street. And all of a sudden, all these Portuguese people come driving up there in this Mercedes, laughing. The black guy looked at him and said, what are you laughing about? He said, you, man, you should have never cheated on your wife. Black guy told all the Portuguese people, said, hey, I don't know why you're laughing. I just seen all your wives on a skateboard. Now, let me tell you. I was getting ready to lay down. I was tired. I was laying there, and just before I get ready to close my eyes, my wife looked at me and says, honey? I said, yeah? She goes, remember when we were young, how you used to kiss me on the cheek? So I reached over there, looked at her, and went, Looked at her again and said, that'll do it. A couple minutes later, I get ready to close my eyes again. She goes, honey, remember when we were young, how you used to bite my ear? So I threw back the covers, get out of bed. She goes, what's wrong with you? Why you get out of bed? I'm just going to get my teeth. Now, this pastor that I know, and he's always lying. And one day he went up to the secretary, says, you know, I'm not going to be able to stay here today because I'm not feeling good. Secretary's okay, no problem. Well, instead of the pastor going home and laying down, he lied and he went for a joyride out in the country. And when he was driving, he came up to this country store, and when he pulled up there, he seen this little boy with a great big dog. And he got out of his car. The pastor said, hey, little boy, does your dog bite? The little boy says, no. He goes, huh. So he went down to pet him, and the dog bit his arm. He goes, hey, I thought you said your dog don't bite. He says, my dog don't bite. That's not my dog. Now, let me tell you something. The other day I was in church, and I was doing some preaching, and I was up there and talking to the people. And I said, you know, I want to do this on a special time. I want a special person to pick out the next 3 hymns. And an old lady in the back raised her hand and says, I'll pick the 3 hymns. I'll pick the 3 hymns. I said, you go ahead and pick the 3 hymns. She stood up and she says, I'll pick a hymn, hymn, and hymn. Now, let me tell you, my wife and I, we were traveling this out of state, and we kept looking. We looked at the sign, and it said some kind of name of a town. And we argued for an hour and a half, but she said it was this way it was spelled. This said, and I told her, no, this is the way it was pronounced. And so when we got to town, we pulled into the first place we could see, and that was a fast food restaurant. So we both got out of our car, we walked in there, and we looked at the lady behind the register, and we said, lady, can you tell us where we're at? The lady looked at us, reached across the counter, looked at us again, and says, you're at Burger King. Now, let me tell you, I was outside here about a week ago, and all of a sudden, I heard this voice. Cowboy pastor. Cowboy pastor. I said, yeah. He goes, I'm God. I said, what can I help you with, God? God says, hey, you've been pretty good. I'm going to grant you anything you wish. I said, well, God, you know, thinking about it, I like to have a bridge. Can you build me a road from here to Hawaii? God thought about it a second. It's just impossible. Well, you told me you could do anything because you're God. I said, okay. He said, impossible. Give me another wish. I said, okay. You know, I've been married a long time now. Can you make me understand women? God thought about it a second. He said, hey, you want 1 road or 2 roads? Now let me tell you this. I found out there was a church that needed money to raise. They were building onto their church, and they were raising money to add on, and so they're taking donations. So I figured I'd call the church one day, and I called and I picked, you know, and the secretary answered, and I said, "Is the head hog there?" And she says, "What do you mean head hog? If you're talking about our pastor, I wish you would say the pastor." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call him the head hog. But I understand that you guys was trying to raise money for your church, and I'd like to donate $50,000 to you." Secretary says, "Hold on a second. Porky just walked in." Now let me tell you this. I thank you all, and I hope that you see this tape, and I hope you I have a close time to be able to meet with you guys. You guys, at the end of this video, you can see how you get a hold of me. And again, thank you. God bless. And you guys have a nice day and nice evening. Goodbye.